Do you struggle with feeling alone sometimes? Because I can tell you that I definitely have. Your friends are inviting you out on a Friday night to go to the club, get drinks. You want to be around that blaring music. And then once the music is done, everybody goes home. You're walking into an empty house and you don't really feel that great anymore. It's maybe tough for you going to bed at night by yourself or even learning how to be alone. But I want to tell you that even though you might think that it's a good idea to get caught up in distractions and to be around all your friends, they may be holding you back from healing. And a big part of healing from that loneliness, that depression, that worry, ironically enough, is to sometimes be able to comfortably move into being on your own a lot more often. And if you don't believe me, stick around because I'm going to tell you why. What's up, YouTube family? And today we're going to talk about how if you're feeling lonely, sometimes you need to actually walk down that lonely path. This is kind of counterintuitive because the way you go about it matters. I'm not here to say that we should always be alone, because the thing is that we've been created to be social, to have friends, to have fun. What I'm talking more about here, though, is that when you go out, what's the reason behind it? If you're going and you need to unwind and you want to hang out with friends, that's awesome. If we're going out because we're literally trying to escape our own home, escape ourselves, we're doing destructive habits, we're not working on ourselves, we're not healing, that's where your friend group can potentially be holding you back. So one thing you want to look at is when you go and hang out with your friends, when you see your buddies on a Friday night, what do you all have in common? Are these friends that you can talk to comfortably if you've had a really hard breakup or a really hard day? Or is it going to be something where you start opening up and they're like, forget her, forget him, have a few drinks, or let's just go to this concert? Because ultimately what happens is that if we want to heal, we have to look at where we're spending our time, who it's with, what hobbies we're doing. Do we have any bad habits? Are we working on ourselves? So a lot of times we struggle because we don't want to be alone. We're told that we should forget about our problems. We should go hang out with our friends. Not a bad thing. It's all a good intent. But what about the harder stuff? What about the harder work that needs to be done? Because if we're going out all the time and we're not stepping back and actually checking in with ourselves and saying, hey, how are you feeling? It sounds kind of weird, but when's the last time you actually opened up a journal and just wrote down your thoughts? When's the last time you meditated? When's the last time you took a walk and just listened to your favorite podcast? When's the last time you stepped away and just thought about 10 things you're grateful for in your life? Some of these things that we tend to avoid are necessary because what'll happen is that if we just keep putting ourselves out there and trying to escape our problems, a lot of people that we'll attract in our life, they're energy vampires. See, misery loves company. Hanging out with friends isn't bad. Hanging out with friends for the wrong reasons can be very damaging. And a lot of times we tend to find connections with friends because one thing we have in common is sadness, misery, resentment, bad habits, just trying to live the life of the party but not doing the hard work on ourselves. And you'll notice that if you want to heal, sometimes this means shrinking your friend group a little bit. And it's hard because sometimes we'll have those friendships for 10, 15, 20 years. And we know that there's something tugging inside that if we want to level up, sometimes that means we have to say goodbye. We have to say, look, we don't really have much in common anymore. See, like attracts like. If you're putting that work in on yourself, if you're finding what makes you happy, if you're finding your peace, you're going to start bringing new people into your life that will share that with you. And a harsh reality is that friendships come and go. But one thing that should not come and go is your peace. So instead of just going out there and trying to be the life of the party and trying to escape our problems, let's find out how to become our own best friends. Because society is weird like this. We talk about how mental health isn't discussed enough, but then we also have all these distractions. And they really don't add up because they conflict with one another. We have to be able to do that hard work. We have to be able to work on ourselves. So try and take that uncomfortable step. Do that work. Because it's going to be hard. And sometimes you have to walk through the trenches on your own to really discover who you are. If we're going and just hanging out with friends and escaping our problems, the challenge we can end up falling into is codependence, where now our identity is tied to our friend group. And that's what our sense of self is. Learn what makes you happy. Find out maybe a new hobby that you've been dying to do and give it a try. find a new relaxing place. Maybe there's a bench in your park where you actually can just sit there and look at the birds and meditate and just give yourself some time to breathe. Because it's okay to be bored sometimes. It's okay to sit with our thoughts. We don't have to escape them. Drop some comments below, tell me what you think. And I have more about this in my book, Hey Anxiety, Thank You. So if you do want to check it out, it's in the description below, and feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more future content. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.